Okay, children. All right, body paragraph. We are going to do one of them. All right. Now, remember, for science, this right here is so important. Your scientific knowledge. If you don't know the process involved, if you don't know photosynthesis, if you don't know the dissolving process, if you don't know, right, how the organelles in a cell function, you are in trouble. So that's why we've been studying and pouring the content knowledge into our brains. Okay, so this thing is so important. Your scientific content knowledge needs to dominate your body paragraphs. Okay, and those bodies are going to line up with the bullets on the prompt. Okay, it can be formulaic. So bullet 1 can be body 1, bullet 2 can be body 2, so on and so forth. Okay, so second most important thing is your vocabulary. Okay, so these are kind of tied together. Vocabulary knowledge and your scientific knowledge, right? That's got to dominate your paper. The support, the document support. Now, we usually want to cite 2 documents per body paragraph, but if you have 1, I guess that's fine. But you need to at least have 1. I always recommend 2, but you should have 1. So here's what I know about the process. Here's some vocab to support it, right? And then here's the document that goes along with what I'm saying. And then, of course, any good body paragraph needs a topic and concluding sentence. Now, let's talk about a topic sentence. Yes, topic sentence should always start with some sort of transitional phrase or element, okay? It needs a transition to begin with. As you can see, in addition, furthermore, to start out, something to put in there. Okay, let's look at bullet number 1, okay? Because that is what we're going to do today. We are going to focus in, where is it? On bullet 1. Explain why photosynthesis and cellular respiration are dependent on one another and how the 2 processes are a continuous cycle. Okay, so I'm going to underline photosynthesis, cellular respiration, how they depend on one another, and how they're a continuous cycle. Okay, so all that stuff, right? And again, if you know the process, my friends, right? This should be easy. Continuous cycle. They depend on one another. All right, let's go back to this. So we need to have a topic sentence, and we need to basically transform this into our topic sentence. All right, so photosynthesis, cellular respiration, depending on one another, continuous cycle. Let's take a look, all right? To start, photosynthesis and cellular respiration work together in a variety of ways, okay? So, hey, that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about these 2 things. I'm going to explain them. I'm going to say how they work together. I'm going to say how they are a continuous cycle. Okay, next thing, okay? Now remember, orange is going to be, every sentence in orange is going to be my scientific knowledge. Everything in blue will be document support. All right, let's go through this. Photosynthesis is a process where plants take the sun's energy and with carbon dioxide and water combine them to produce glucose. Whoa, that is some awesome scientific knowledge. I just gave a definition of what it is, right? Oh my gosh, these gateway graders, they love this, okay? So definition's good. It's a good place to start, right? Notice some of the scientific vocabulary I got in here, right? I've got carbon dioxide. I've got glucose, right? I've got photosynthesis, right? So I'm just littering that first definition. And it's basic, right? So if I'm going to talk about photosynthesis, cellular respiration, I'm going to define it, bro, right? I'm going to tell you what it is, okay? All right. What else could we talk about? Cellular respiration. Let's see. The glucose is stored in the plant as fuel, right? That next sentence, you're only able to write that sentence if you know what photosynthesis does, right? If you don't know what photosynthesis does, you are not going to be able to include that detail. It's an extra sentence. It's an extra point. It's extra scientific knowledge. As the plant needs energy to perform tasks such as growing, the cell's mitochondria converts the glucose into energy in a process called cellular respiration. Okay, so wow, I just gave you a definition of cellular respiration. Again, look at this scientific vocabulary this kid has. Mitochondria, cellular respiration. Okay, so they are just dropping mad knowledge and definitions about photosynthesis, about cellular respiration. Okay, all right, let me zoom this out just a little bit so we have a better look. All right, okay, let's look at my document some more. In document A, the food web shows herbivores like mice eating the grass blades. All right. Eating the grass blades. All right, look at that. Document A. Booyah! Mouse eating grass blades. Right there. Okay? So I have cited document A after I gave a full definition of photosynthesis and cellular respiration. Now I am citing the appropriate document. Okay? And this gives me a pause right here before we get back into it. This is a strategy that I'm going to show you later. Vocabulary. For every document that you have, write down a list of vocabulary, right? Chloroplast, chlorophyll, stroma, the Calvin cycle, glucose, everything that you can remember. And also, what's some prior knowledge you have? What do you know about this document? Okay, that's always super helpful. All right, so we've got our document support. Let me pull it out just a little bit further. Hopefully you guys can still see this. All right. As these consumers need energy, their mitochondria convert the food to glucose to energy. Again, more knowledge, more scientific knowledge. Carbon dioxide is the byproduct that is released into the air, increasing the amount of carbon in the air. Plants take in the energy, carbon, and the cycle begins again. All right? Let's take a look at this right here. So after the document, right, because we had document support here, right, I continue the story about photosynthesis and cellular respiration. As these consumers need energy, right, the mice, the herbivores, their mitochondria convert and again, mitochondria, more scientific vocabulary. Their mitochondria convert the food to glucose to energy. Carbon dioxide is the byproduct that is released. Okay, byproduct is definitely part of the scientific vernacular. Carbon dioxide, another scientific word, that is released into the air, increasing the amount of carbon in the air. Okay, again, more scientific knowledge. Right? Okay. Plants take in the energy, carbon, and the cycle begins again. So I've kind of finished my thought here, right? I've talked about how these two things are a cycle, how they recycle energy and matter. All right, finally, last sentence. Clearly, the process is one of the most important in science. So I'm just summing up, I'm wrapping up here. Notice the great transitional phrase that I'm using here. And I've got just a big exclamation point on what I've just said. Okay, quickly, let's take a look at the whole, and then we will write our own. To start, photosynthesis and cellular respiration work together in a variety of ways. Photosynthesis is a process where plants take the sun's energy and with carbon dioxide and water combine them to produce glucose. The glucose is stored in the plant as fuel. As the plant needs energy to perform tasks such as growing, the cell's mitochondria converts the glucose into energy in a process called cellular respiration. In document A, the food web shows herbivores like mice eating the grass blades. Okay, citing the document. As these consumers need energy, their mitochondria convert the food to glucose and then to energy. Carbon dioxide is the byproduct that is released into the air, increasing the amount of carbon in the air. Plants take in the energy, and the cycle begins again. Clearly, this process is one of the most important in science. Okay, look at the ratios here, right? Orange, 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 all the scientific vocabulary. So the point I'm trying to make here, and I know I've been long-winded, I apologize, here's my face, is that your scientific knowledge should dominate the body paragraph, right? Cap end by a good concluding sentence and a good starting sentence that is clearly related to the bullet point, which this was. We already showed you that. But the documents should be there to support what you have to say. Okay, are we ready to write? Oh yeah.